1998 model, maybe a 2000. Daniel is with the FFA chapter. He's been selling tickets up by the Big White Barn all weekend. Thanks, Daniel, for showing up this weekend. Next, we've got Matthew Ben on a 1964 Oliver 770.
Good onions. Got a good bite.
All right, this is Matt's son. If you've ever been to Manchester Ag Parts, that would be Matt. Next up is John Reed on a 1953 Model 50 in loving memory of Kenny Durham. Thanks, John. Also a 1947 FARMALL A, John Reed. Next up is a 1914 Frick Company steam engine. This steam engine is owned by the Demlo family, Clayton, and it was formerly owned by Ben and Bonnie Carpenter of Jasper. This is a 1914 Frick steam engine. Now you might want to hold your ears, because I think he does have a whistle. Do you have another whistle? Just the one. Thank you. All right, next up is a Nichols and Shepard 1923 steam engine owned by Robbie Terry and Brad Hammond. And this steam engine was built in Battle Creek, Michigan. And Nichols and Shepard at one point was bought out by the Harpar, and then Harpar was bought out by the Oliver family. So it goes back a little ways. Now I know, I'm familiar with this steam engine, so it does have a few whistles, so hold your ears because it's loud. Let's hear one. Cue. All right. Thank you, boys and girls. It's always nice to have a girl driving one of those. All right, next up is Wyatt on a Oliver Row Crop 88. What year is it, Wyatt? A 1953.
Top left.
Yep.
Wyatt is with his dad.
Water for two.
And that's the next generation of our club.
Okay.
Thank you, Wyatt. Thank you, Luke.
I'll get one of these.
Ron and Deb Oliver from Clinton on a Ford 1948. You might have saw Deb up in the White Barn doing some spinning. A 1940 FARMALL A, Mike Castle out of Riga. And his buddy Levi, still in his pajamas. Those are his lucky pajamas. He won the tractor pull today. He got a trophy. Casey Lohr on a 1949 Alice Chalmers C. Casey's husband Jason Lohr on a 1940 Alice Chalmers WC. Gary Martin from Curtis, Ohio on a 1920 FARMALL BN. Butch Curtis, Ohio on a 1950 FARMALL 100. Thanks for coming down. All 300, Jake Sneed out of Onstead. Shirley Metternich, FARMALL. FA Super, Connie Lohr on a Simplicity. Whoa, this is loud, Landon. 1966 FARMALL 706 diesel, Landon. Good job, buddy. Also got a FARMALL B and Stephen McGrath from Onstead. $19.37. Now I'm kind of partial to the orange one, so this is a 1961 E17, Gary Harding out of Toledo, Ohio. Thanks, Gary. All right, this is Tim Dirk. A 1930 John Deere A. Tim just got this tractor and it's ran all weekend non-stop. Here comes Mackenzie on a John Deere B in Andina. Mackenzie's grandfather on a 1936 John Deere General Purpose. Thank you. Mackenzie's brother Jim on a 1965 John Deere 3020. Well, at least you still have one to run. Yeah, Jim went on the parade this morning and broke down. 1950 FARMALL C, Jim Scout from Madison. Looks like a John Deere M. 1952 John Deere M from Morenci. Jim Demlow on an Oliver Row Crop 70, 1947. Alice Chalmers WD owned by Roger Lohr, 1949. Here comes Roger's son Wyatt Lohr. A 1951 John Deere. Was this your present? Wyatt graduated in June, and this was his graduation present. Crystal Llewellyn on her Alice Chalmers. Here comes Jim Llewellyn on his Alice Chalmers, 1956. Here comes Floyd Jennings on a 1938 FARMALL, 1938. Thanks, Floyd. Here comes the Demlow family, FARMALL H. Maybe a 1937. Here comes Pat McGrath and his grandson. Oh, what? Oh, Pat won the lawnmower pole. We have a traveling trophy, and Pat won this year. Next up, Jim Seegert on a 1950 John Deere MT. And Ted Ebert, the dog. This is our Bierman train. We love our Bierman train. This was donated to the club by the Bierman family down in Riga. In 1959 Farmall Cup by the Secret family. Another Secret family, Dad's Toy, in 1945, Farmall BN.
Hey!
Next up is a 1946 Ford TN, owned by the Secret family. Oh boy, next up is my favorite truck, a GMC. Must be a 1971 Larry Hauser out of Blissfield.
Nice GMC truck. I know him too.
Beautiful truck. Thanks for sharing, Larry. Next up is Jay Fisher on a 1956 Alice Chalmers wide front end D45. A 1950 Alice Chalmers WD narrow front end. John Bowman from Bowman Farms on a John Deere A. Another Bowman Farms 1930 Massey Harris. Brandy and Stephanie Bowman. Here comes Stephanie Bowman on a John Deere. $1946. Farmall H.
Okay.
Kimberly is on her brother's tractor, a Farmall H. She's not sure of the year. Kimberly and her husband and her little son there. $1926 Huber, owned by Troy Pawson. 1926 Huber. Again, remember the Nichols and Shepherd and the Hart Par and then the Oliver family, they all down the line and one bought out the next and we ended up with the Oliver family. This is Troy Pawson from over by Tipton on a Hart Par. Thank you. Steve McGrath on a John Deere. John Deere 60. 1952 John Deere 60. Here comes Landon again on a 1939 Alice Chalmers WC, and this is Landon's tractor. Yeah, good job, buddy. We like to start them young around here. Corey Thompson on his John Deere GP. Here comes the family with a load of hit-and-miss engines. One of these engines was made in Michigan. I believe the Alamo, if I'm correct, came out of Hillsdale. Every one of these engines was made right here in Michigan. Hi, Jessica. They have got a load of pedal tractors owned by the Demlo family. Every shape and every color. When you start buying them, you just can't stop. Oh, here comes my Doodlebug. It's a 1930 Doodlebug, and back in the day, they used whatever parts they had and put them together. It's a Model A engine, and I don't know what kind of rear end, but it doesn't have good suspension at all. But it's a 1930 Doodlebug. I'll tell you a story about that dude. A couple of months ago, we started down the road, and Brad said the wheel was wobbling, and so my brother got off to check it. He said, "You lost all your lug bolts, or your lug nuts." And so Brad said, "My gosh, I saw these things flying down the road, but I thought they were rocks." So we lost all of our lug nuts. We had to park it and get towed home, and then we had to go back with the golf cart and pick up all the lug nuts. And luckily enough, we found them all. All right, we're going to wait a few minutes for everybody to get back down here. I'm going to run to my